Hello, everyone. So, the White House says that they're hoping to have a ceasefire deal by April 20th. Yeah, good luck with that. Another thing they said, it was something like, the process was more or less under control. No, it's not. I don't see how that is happening. Because once again, the US, that imagine itself being the primary negotiator here, has no idea what is actually going on. Once again, the parties involved have not been to Ukraine. Keith Kellogg has been to Ukraine, and for some reason, he's no longer participating in this. Could it be that he's gone there, got bombed, and went, oh my God, how dare we push Ukraine toward any kind of peace negotiations while this shit is going on? Is that why? I personally do not think that anyone should participate in these talks unless they go to Ukraine and see for themselves. Otherwise, it's meaningless. They need to understand what is actually happening there. Case in point, this git. U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff. Who the fuck asked him? Oh, I know who. Tucker Carlson did. Why? Why should Ukraine cede its territory? It's its territory. It's part of its country. Which part of the United States would you be willing to give away? Envoy. To, prevent other countries from hating on you. The worst of it is, this man is lying. So they're saying these regions that Russia wants to hack off, including Crimea, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. He says they're Russian-speaking and people there want to live under Russia. No, they do not. The referenda that was conducted in the invaded parts of these regions was conducted at gunpoint, literally. People were rounded up and herded into the polling places under the eye of the armed soldiers. If they want so much to live under Russian rule, why are there acts of sabotage regularly in those areas? Why won't anybody take any leadership roles there on behalf of Russia? Because the previous ones have been assassinated. You're telling me those regions really want to live under Russian rule? Fucking moron. And if you don't care about Ukraine, fine. We know you don't. But there's also direct damage to the US and to Europe. Most of the acts of sabotage organized by Russia have taken place on European territory, but the US has not been exempt. So we're talking about the overall number of attacks of various kinds. We're talking terrorist attacks, we're talking cyber attacks that took place since Russia invaded Ukraine. Again, those of us who have been following the situation in Ukraine for years and years and years have been warning you that this is not going to be limited to Ukraine. It's going to impact everybody. And that's exactly what is happening. Russia is meddling in elections. Russia is weakening the infrastructure. Russia is trying to get into your banking systems. Russia is engaged in money laundering. You okay with that? Again, this is not Ukraine. This is you. Europe and America. This is you. This is happening to you personally. Your bank data, your security, your identity. You okay with that? So Associated Press did a very nice job. They put together this nice map showing the attacks in Europe. But again, if you look back at the events over the last 3 years, you will see that no, it's not limited to Europe. US has been affected too. So again, if you think you can just sit on your ass and do nothing, consider your own situation. Are you okay with Russia deciding who your next leader is going to be? Are you okay with Russia having access to your personal data? You okay with that? Okay. And this is for people who do care about Ukraine itself. Because this is happening. This is the true elephant in the room. For all of the talk about ceasefire, Russia continues pounding Ukrainian civilians. Again, the attacks unleashed daily are not against any military objects. This is against civilians, including my parents. This week alone, according to Ukrainian government, over 1,580 guided aerial bombs, 1,100 strike drones, and 15 missiles of various types were used against Ukrainian civilians. You're gonna sit there and tell me this is the country to whom Ukraine should cede territory? This is the country with which Ukraine has to negotiate? And no, again, this is not difficult. This is not difficult. This is not complicated at all. Russia wants a portion of Ukraine. Actually, Russia wants eventually the rest of Ukraine. The reason they want a portion now is that so that they can invade the rest later. Ukraine doesn't want that. Ukraine wants Russia to leave them the fuck alone and let them decide what to do with themselves. Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia needs to leave. Period. No amount of negotiation is going to add to this. And as I mentioned before, any amount of diplomacy needs to be reinforced with an iron fist. It needs to be reinforced with the kind of pressure Russia understands, which is the show of strength. Because Russia is a bully, and the only thing they understand is a punch in the teeth. Following the tragic attack on my native city of Zaporizhia, there's been another attack, including on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, during which 7 people were killed. Again, how is it a show of any kind of peaceful intention? I'm telling you right now, if you're gonna give those territories to Russia, you are looking to one of the biggest, bloodiest underground wars in history. Because those people do not want to, after everything Russia has done to Ukraine in the last 3 years, and actually the years before, they do not want to be under Russian rule. And they will remember this. Even as Ukrainian delegation is expected to meet with the U.S. official in Saudi Arabia again, the attack on Ukraine included 147 drones, some of which were shot down. The attack struck Kharkiv, Sumy, Chernihiv, Odessa, and Donetsk region, as well as Kyiv. One of the victims, one of the people who were killed, is a child. Aren't you guys saying, like, if it can save one child, that's enough? Well, here's something for you. At least 16 children are killed or injured in Ukraine every week. That's about 2 a day. At least 2,406 children have been killed or injured as of November 18th, 2024, since the start of the war. 659 killed and 1,747 injured. You okay with that? Pro-lifers? You alright with that? Yeah, you think on that.